expert, Dr. Peter Chin-Hong from UCSF. And Dr. Peter, thank you once again for being on this program.
My pleasure, Terry.
All right, so there's not a lot of information out there, but whatever there is, I have the feeling you know it. Tell us about this new subvariant. What symptoms are people in the UK experiencing when they get BA2?
So it's about the same as Omicron. People don't think that it's anything different so far in terms of symptoms. Very much like a cold, very mild for many people. Some people are getting more severe, going to the hospital. The concerning thing about BA2 is that it's overtaking Omicron, the regular strain of Omicron, which is called BA1, more rapidly. And, for example, in Denmark, it went from about, maybe 20% in December to more than half the cases now in a very short order of time. As you said, 400 cases so far in the UK, maybe 200 in the US identified. They're in about 40 countries so far. So it's kind of like the new Omicron, so to speak.
New Omicron. We're just getting over the old Omicron. Tell me about this. The UK is a few months ahead of the United States in many aspects of the pandemic. Do you see this subvariant making its way to the Bay Area?
It probably is already here. The problem with BA2 subvariant is that it's not as easily identified. You still tell that it's COVID or SARS-CoV-2, but to figure out it's BA2, you have to do a more laborious entire genomic sequencing. So that's why people think it's more common than is meeting the eye. But the silver lining is so far, we don't think it's necessarily causing more severe disease. The governmental agency from Denmark, where it's really overtaken the regular Omicron, didn't really find any difference in the hospitalization rate between BA1, regular Omicron, and BA2, the new sort of like souped up Omicron.
The vaccines are working against BA2 as well? Do we know that yet?
We don't know for sure that it's more transmissible per se. I mean, that's certainly a question that people have. But in terms of protecting against serious disease, hospitalization, and death, our vaccines and boosters really don't care generally what variant you have because they adapt to the variant. That's why hospitalizations in general, are not really a big issue in Omicron, given the vast number of people. In other words, if we had so many people infected, we would have seen much sicker people. And it's really the vaccinations that are keeping people from being as sick with Omicron. We think the same effect is going to be seen with BA2 sublineage of Omicron.
Okay, a couple silver linings there. Dr. Peter Chin-Hong, thank you so much for taking the time again today.